Hi everyone, Ashley here and welcome back to Just to Jet. Today I'm bringing you my top 10 favorite historical costumes of 2020. One good thing about being stuck home all last year was being able to catch up on all the historical and period TV shows and films that came out. So I was able to see amazing costumes last year. I know there's going to be a lot of awards for costume designs on some of these shows and films that I'm going to talk about. So I basically just gathered the 10 that most intrigued me or that were most attractive that I really liked. I didn't rank them. I didn't rank the 10, but yeah, of all the ones I saw, these were the ones that really stick out to me. Also, the note, I'm not really going to comment on whether they're historically accurate or not. There's probably another YouTube video that can do that for you, but yeah, I'm not here to like critique whether they were historically accurate or not. So just loving the outfits as they are. So the first outfit is from Outlander season 5 and it's Bree's wedding dress. Early on in Outlander, we got a lot of amazing costumes, like from the 40s and like when they went to Paris, and like there was some beautiful outfits. But since they kind of moved to pre-Revolutionary War Carolinas, they are, working in the land, they're building a community from scratch. They're not wearing gowns, okay? So it's been a while since in my opinion, that we've seen a lot of beautiful costumes on Outlander. So it was nice to see Bree's wedding dress. So Bree's wedding dress is, I think, believable considering where they live and how they live. It's this beautiful off-white gown with a little scarf around your neck. And it really, like, what sets it off is the embroidery of the vines and flowers on the dress. That kind of like elevates it a bit because it is still pretty simple, but it's very romantic and cute. And it was a nice outfit to see on Outlander after so many seasons of, just making penicillin and farming. So the next two outfits I'm going to talk about are from The Crown. I love The Crown. My favorite seasons are seasons 1 and 4. And 4 obviously because Princess Diana's character was introduced and everybody was waiting. Even since season 1, people were like, oh, I can't wait until, the show gets far enough for Diana to make an appearance. So it finally happened this year. And of course, even besides her storyline, people were very excited to see all of the nods to her famous fashion outfits that she obviously wore, and she was a fashion icon. Still is. She's one of my fashion icons, and I'll actually be making a video on my fashion icons coming up soon at some point. So that'll be really fun to film. But, she was known as a fashion icon, and she really sent messages, kind of like expressed how she felt through her outfits. I mean, like the revenge dress, we haven't seen that yet on the show, but that is like a very famous outfit of hers that really conveyed a lot about the time in her life that she was going through. So the first one, saying all that, this one isn't really one of her most notable outfits. I just personally loved it because it was plaid. So this green plaid dress that Diana's character wears is a version of a red plaid dress that Diana actually wore. Now it's not one of her like really famous outfits, but obviously they took a nod to it. And I just love it because of the buttons up to the top and the plaid. Okay, a plaid dress, I'm happy any day. So that was just a personal favorite of mine. But the next outfit is much more notable. It is that red sweater with the white sheep and the one black sheep. So this, since her wearing this has become very popular, like she wore it in the 80s, but since then it's become very popular. It's been like reinvented. The black sheep is in different areas, but that sweater has been around since then, being remade. And the one in the show, I think the black sheep is in on her shoulder here, and obviously that sends a message of how she felt like the black sheep of the royal family at that time. So it was a very tumultuous time in her life. So in the show, they just quickly, she's lounging at home alone, lonely, like she spent a lot of her time, and it's just a quick kind of nod to it. She has like a little frilly undershirt and then that sweater on top. And it was a pretty quick nod, but a very famous sweater that Diana wore in real life. So let's jump from The Crown to Emma, the 2020 adaptation. I'm a huge Jane Austen fan, so I was like tracking the progress of this film for quite a while. It did come out early 2020, but I didn't end up seeing it until late 2020. And I think that's probably because while I'm a huge Austen fan, Emma is not my favorite Austen novel. I am much more a Persuasion type of person, so I kind of put it off, but I did want to see it before the end of the year. And I was pleasantly surprised. I'm not really married to any of the earlier versions of Emma. I know, when you have a favorite Austen novel, you have a favorite adaptation, and you don't really want to like stray from that. Like that's your gold standard, that's your favorite, that's how you see it. But so I was pretty open-minded coming into the Emma adaptation. And I was pleasantly surprised because like it's a beautiful movie. It is extremely stylized as far as like the color palette, and it is just beautiful. It's all the colors and fabrics and textures are punched up, and I think that makes it more mainstream for 2020. So they, you know, definitely made it more, they don't need to make it for more palatable to me, and probably nobody watching this if you like historical anything, but for the random person brought along by a Jane Austen fan or Emma fan, I think it like, you know, brought more people in to enjoy it. So very stylized, and I think they did a really good job on it. And of course that stylization came over to the clothes. So the first outfit I'm going to talk about is this dusty pink Regency crop top that Emma wears. It's beautiful. Like it's long sleeve, but the little cap sleeves on the top with the detail there, the embroidering on the chest, the little clasp at her waist is just gorgeous. Thankfully, she wears this right out of the gate in the show, in the movie. And it is on one of the movie posters, but it's just gorgeous. I mean, I want to wear this down to the mailbox. I don't even care. Like, stare at me. I don't care. It's beautiful. So that was one of like the flawless pieces right away that I just gasped when I was watching the movie. The next outfit from Emma that I'm going to talk about was also on a alternative movie poster, and that's this floor-length mustard coat. I mean, this is gorgeous. It's much simpler in design than the like dusty pink crop jacket, but I mean, it's gorgeous, that color alone. And the little cap sleeves gives it a little something to make it a little less intricate, I guess. But overall, it's a pretty simple design. But that color, just like boom. And that color mustard is like one of the main like threads through the movie. You'll see pops of it everywhere. Sometimes more successfully done than others, I think, but they had all that in mind when making it. And this is just a gorgeous color, a gorgeous outfit, and Emma, and thankfully, throughout the movie, Emma wears both of these outfits more than once, which I love to see. People rewear their clothes, people rewear their clothes. You know, in a lot of any TV show or film, a lot of the times they wear something once and you never see it again. And it's just a little bit, grates on my nerves a little bit. So I liked seeing that at least we saw both of these outfits at least twice in the movie. So staying kind of related, more Anya Taylor-Joy, who had some amazing historical roles this year. She had another role, which was one of the best things to air in 2020, historical or otherwise. I mean, it was a great miniseries, and it also made sales of chess sets skyrocket. So you probably already know what I'm talking about. It's the Queens Gambit. And this was just like an amazing plot. It could have been set at any point in time in history. Current, I mean, it could have been set any time, and it would have been just as thrilling. But it was set from 1958 to 1968. So she is a chess prodigy, a child chess prodigy, and she kind of like moves through the ranks of tournaments and everything, and dealing with that game, sport, whatever, being so male dominated, and her being usually the only woman in the entire tournament. So, especially during that time, 1958 to 1968. So it was an amazing plot, amazing costumes, everything. So it was very good. I'm sure you've seen it, because if not, you definitely need to watch it. The first outfit I'm going to talk about is actually not something that she tends to wear in the show. It's much more feminine than she usually dresses, but it's this mitten black dress with the striped bow and the pockets. Who knows if they're functional, but I saw the pockets and I was immediately like, yes, pockets. And it's just a beautiful color, beautiful combination. I just think it's a gorgeous outfit. And it's interesting because it is different than what she usually wears. It's not a style that she tends to go for, I feel like. But nonetheless, I loved it personally. The last outfit from the Queen's Gambit, I loved it at first sight. I thought it was a powerful outfit. It's this all white like suit that she wears with a little white cap. This is like the last scene of the show. She's accomplished a big thing, and she's just kind of walking through the crowd and like public, and she's arrived essentially, and she wears this thing. She really wears it. It's a white coat, white pants, a black shirt or turtleneck underneath, and then the cap. And I liked it at first sight, but it's really appreciated it more once I like looked into the costume designer, like what she kind of had in mind for that. And once I learned like the symbolism behind it, I appreciated it that much more. So she's supposed to look like the white queen chess piece. And I guess if you're playing chess and you have the white set, you're playing the white pieces, you have an advantage. And obviously the appropriate piece for her to look like or emulate would be the queen chess piece. So she's meant to look like the white queen chess piece. And I totally see it now. I didn't really see it when I first saw the show, but that just elevated this outfit so much and made it such a powerful part of the show. The last set of outfits I'm going to talk about, I can't talk about historical costumes from 2020 and not talk about this show. Came out right at the tail end of 2020, and it's all anybody's talking about, and that's Bridgerton. Now, I read the first book before the show came out, and there were so many problems with the book, I didn't read the others. So book fans, don't come at me. I'm a big reader too. I know the other books are about the other siblings, but the first book was so problematic for me personally that I didn't want to read the other ones. So people kept sending me the Bridgerton trailer, and I'm like, yeah, I know about it, but the book was horrible. So I really wasn't super excited, but still, I watched it when it came out and binged it, and it was so much better than the book. They really made some of those issues more palatable, and gave it like a style, a feel that the book didn't have, which never happens if you're a reader. So you never feel like the show or the movie gives you what the book gave you. But Bridgerton did for me, honestly. So like Emma, I feel like to make it more mainstream, they really punched up the fabrics, the colors, textures, everything was punched up and super bright, which worked for it. And it's a tongue-in-cheek show. It's very kind of on the nose a bit. It pokes fun at itself a bit. So I feel like that, all those colors and everything, and Emma's the same way. So I feel like that was appropriate. It didn't seem out of place. So of the 3 Bridgerton outfits I'm going to talk about, only one of them belongs to Daphne. I know, right? Because she wore so many beautiful things. But first I'm going to talk about this outfit of Simon's. This, like, it looks like a velvet black overcoat with a gold and black vest, and that fabric of the vest is gorgeous. I feel like while the costume designers don't neglect the men's costumes in historical, films or TV shows, they definitely don't get as much attention from the viewer as the females' outfits. And that's no fault of the costume designers. But in Bridgerton, the men's costumes are brought on par with the females' costumes, and people appreciate them just as much as the females' costumes. That's what I feel like Bridgerton really delivered as far as costumes. So this is one that caught my eye, and it's beautiful, the contrast, but all the men's costumes in Bridgerton are gorgeous. So that was a nice change to see. The next outfit I'm going to talk about is actually kind of a sleeper. It was kind of there and then gone. It was on a B character, but it was definitely my style personally, so that's why I liked it. So this dress that Eloise wears, which is Daphne's younger sister, she's definitely she's in a transition period of her life, going from child to being put out into society to possibly marry, which she does not want to do. She definitely pushes back against what society feels like she should be, who she should be, what she should do, all that. She's not feeling it. She doesn't want to just be married off and be stuck in a house pumping out kids. Doesn't want that. So she's in a transition in her fashion that's actually part of a storyline about how she's dressing and how she needs to be dressed more adult. So, but this is definitely like a childish type of gown. But I love it. I think it's gorgeous. Everything about it. The cut, like the kind of off-white. I mean, it's pretty white, but and the dusty pink and the kind of, I'm not even sure what it is. It lays over the dress, I feel like, but that like lacy thing that gathers at her neck that stops here. The detail, the floral, and the triangles at the sleeve. I just think this is an adorable outfit, and I would love it. But for her, she's supposed to be, I guess she's too old to be dressing like this in the show, and they're trying to like make her look more mature. Anyway, I think it's gorgeous. Everything about it I love. The last outfit I'm going to talk about is Daphne's gown. Daphne wears so many great things, but the thing that really stuck out to me, which probably I'm not alone on, was that heavily embroidered and beaded gown, like ivory gown that she wears to a ball. I know there's a ball in every episode, I feel like, so it was one of the balls. And it just has like these little cap sleeves, which are heavily, the cap sleeves and the chest. Obviously they have that like empire waist that they always wear. I think that area is so heavily embroidered and beaded and gems and whatever. Like, I mean, it's just so much work went into that. I've seen production photos of the dress closer up. I mean, it is insane how much work went into that. And there's a little bit of detail that goes further down, like down her stomach area. But I mean, this is where it's at with that dress. And it's so gorgeous. And it looks so heavy, like it looks so much work went into it. And I just feel like that was a showstopper of what Daphne wore in the show. So those are my 10 favorite historical costumes of 2020. I didn't get to every show, like I still haven't seen The English Game and The Great, and there's a bunch more that I didn't get a chance to see. So let me know if I missed out on an outfit or a show. I definitely want to hear about it in the comments because there's so much, like we're spoiled for choice when it comes to historical stuff lately. So that's a good problem to have, but it is hard to see it all. So please let me know in the comments if there's one I should check out. And don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.